Navigate Melbourne.
Now turn left onto Wilson Drive.
Navigate Mittagong NRMA Charger. So this is the Mittagong NRMA charger. When we navigated to Melbourne, it told us we only had 5% charge left to make it to Goulburn, so we decided to do a bit of a quick top up at this charger. So we're just positioning ourselves. We met a nice Model S owner who just got his Model S a couple of months ago. He's just topping up before he was heading back to Sydney. So doing the And our first real top up for the day is at the Goulburn Tourist Information Centre. Quite a number of superchargers here. We'll be here for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay, we've just had coffee and apple crumble at Rose's Cafe in Goulburn, and we're travelling pretty slowly, so we thought we'd hit some EV bingo. I'm going to ask Rob 3 questions that are called out, and he'll answer them all in turn because they're associated with batteries. So Rob, the 3 questions are: what if your battery dies? You have to change the batteries every 4 to 5 years. Lithium mines are dirty. Yeah, can you hit all those questions at once for me?
Yeah, sure, Brian. They're all battery-related questions. So people are worried that the batteries won't last long enough, and that there's an environmental cost with batteries. And they're all legitimate questions and legitimate concerns. So first of all, I'd say that electric car manufacturers like Tesla warrant their batteries. And for example, the warranty on this battery is 8 years, and that after 8 years it'll still have 70% of the charge as on day one. So that's pretty confident, and Teslas have been around since 2012. They've got lots of experience and data to back up that warranty. So that's reassuring to me that the battery will still be very, very usable in 8 years. The industry also talks about what happens to car batteries after their life in cars, and so say the capacity drops to 50% in 10 or 15 years or whatever period. It may not be as useful as a car, but it could be still used in a what's called a stationary application, used in home storage or some other reason that you might want to use a large battery. But it raises the broader question, I think, of what about the environmental impact on batteries and on technology in general, and I think that's a really good question too. So what about our phones, what about our laptops, what about our TVs? They all have an environmental cost to manufacture them, and the worst thing that can happen is that those things end up in landfill. So I think a strategy there is to buy high quality products that will last a long time, that can be repaired, and then we get a lot of life out of them for the environmental cost. But then the other thing is, I guess at some point electrical appliances and batteries will be no longer useful. So what do we do with them then? And obviously we need a good recycling strategy. But I think it's interesting that people do raise it as an issue specifically for electric vehicles, and they never raise it as an issue for mobile phone batteries, tablet batteries and laptop batteries, which have been around for a lot longer. But anyway, I think the industry is working towards having lots of recycling options, because the minerals that are used in the manufacture of batteries are actually quite valuable, and there's a good economic reason to take them and reuse them in new batteries.
Yeah, concerned about this for some time because we do have a throwaway culture, and somehow we've got to change that. And I'd really like that Australia, with its lithium reserves and cobalt and whatever have you, got into manufacturing batteries rather than just exporting the raw goods, such as in the case of iron ore, where we just basically ship dirt to China. And I'd like it that we started producing the batteries and then be able to recycle. I think that would be a really fantastic outcome.
Yep. I have actually met someone who runs a business on the Sunshine Coast, and he tells me they're building quite a large battery factory on the Sunshine Coast. And then in the media I've read others who are building one in Townsville or something like that. So you're right. I mean, it's crazy that we would dig up, in the past, coal, dig up iron ore, ship it overseas and buy it back as manufactured product. We have all those minerals and all those resources. We have the energy with our growing wind and solar resource to actually manufacture the metals and other things, and certainly batteries as well. So I think we're well placed to make batteries, but sadly, from what I understand, most of the battery manufacturing in the world is done in Japan, Korea and China. Some in the United States with the Tesla factory, and I think some companies are planning to build them in Europe to meet the needs of the German car manufacturers. But there's no reason why we couldn't make them here and then ship them overseas. And this is the supercharger network at Gundagai near the Dog on the Tucker Box. And it's located at a really yummy, fresh food place. And next to it, looks like there's a new ChargeFox 350 kilowatt high-speed charger network going in. I think it's a good idea to have them co-located at a good food place. And we've just popped over the border into Victoria on the final stretch, and we're topping up at Wodonga. And our final supercharger stop at the town of Euroa, next to the Strathbogie Shire Council building. And yeah, next stop Melbourne. So after 2 days we've made it to Melbourne, 1858 kilometres from memory. You can check out all the stats in the spreadsheet in the link below.